Well, you're very welcome to a bonus Betfred show. We're in Liverpool. We're at a spectacular little venue actually called the Black E, just on the edge of town, edge of Toxteth actually as well. And it's a beautiful. These buildings, they're all over the place in Liverpool. You don't even know they're here, do you?
Do you know what? I know you say it's beautiful. It actually looks like this could be like a former prison, Dom. Do you not think like the wings and that? But I think it's a great venue for a public workout for sure.
It is, and of course the big event, December the 11th, the M&S Arena, topped by Benn taking on Algieri, which is a real kind of master and apprentice fight, isn't it? The different ages, different stages of the career, and we know what Connor's all about, and Chris, what's he got left, I suppose. That's the big thing, isn't it?
It is, and we're going to find out on Saturday night. I'm sure we'll speak to the boys in a bit, but I think Chris, he's been around the block. He's been in with the biggest names in the division, so he's not going to fear Benn. But then I think boxing's all about timing and have the times right. Matchroom rarely get it wrong, but if they have got it wrong, could be some serious questions asked on Saturday night for Benn.
Yeah, there's a genuine legend, of course, on the card in the shape of Katy Taylor, who is co-main, and she's in against Sharipova from Kazakhstan, who, again, unless you've really, really done your research and looked at everything you could possibly look at, you won't know a great deal about. But, of course, the big thing is what's next for Katy,
yes,
who still wants to achieve so much, and it's Amanda Serrano. That's what everyone's talking about, isn't it?
That's the fight everyone's talking about, and that is the biggest fight in the women's game. And I think that's going to end up in one place only in the States, and it will feel like it's back home in Ireland, but what a fight that would be. But she's got to get through on Saturday.
Now, plenty on the undercard as well, lots of local prospects, some good scousers as well, naturally, as we are in Liverpool. It is the M&S Arena, so we're going to get cracking, grab hold of a few people and see what's going on here in Liverpool. Well, we're joined at the Liverpool workout by Callum French, a debutant, but somebody that we know all about because a very, very stellar amateur. And firstly, it's going to be a big night for you, obviously. I mean, it's a big night in Liverpool. You're at a big arena, but I know you're used to these kind of high-pressure kind of environments. But it's your pro debut. Talk us through it. How are you feeling?
Looking forward to it. It's a start of a new journey. Obviously, I've been boxing in these empty sports halls around the world, in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, where it's only like the judges and the ref there and your coaches. So it's going to be nice to come out to an arena full of like my family and my friends to show them what I can do, because I haven't really had that opportunity. They haven't really seen us like properly live in years. So I'm looking forward to showing the world what I can do now.
Callum, I know all about it. I've known about it for a long time, and the great work that Graham's done with the lads there. But can you tell us a little bit about the viewers, like what he's done over the years in that Birtley club, obviously with the help of the Birtley team and the coaches, but can you tell us a little bit about the magic that happens down there?
Yeah, it's the conveyor belt of brilliance down there, isn't it? He just puts all the time and effort into it. He's in the gym 6 nights a week we train. Obviously he's got work on top of that, so he gives up his own time, comes down the gym and trains with. So this is like an opportunity for to like repay him with our achievements. That's the only way we can repay him, really, by like doing well and doing my best every time we get in the ring. So I'm looking forward to just doing well for Graham as well as myself.
Just give us a little bit about your story, because I mentioned your amateur pedigree, and then people will say, well, I don't remember Callum at the Olympics and everything else. Now, it didn't quite work out for you for a good reason, so just tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I was the #1 at 60 kilo from after when Cordina left after Rio for 5 years, and then the year before the Olympics, due to gender equality, they took 2 weights out the men's to add 2 weights to the women's. And mine was one of them weights that I took out, so I missed out on the 60 kilo spot because it went over to the women's side of the boxing. So I had to move up into the 64 kilo spot, which was already established by boxers at that weight. So I didn't get a chance, but that opened some new doors up for us in the pro game and gave us a new lease of life. I think I found a love for the sport again.
Callum, finally, just from me, there's going to be some huge nights, North East boxing, coming up. There's yourself, your friends, the McCormacks. It goes on and on, Dickinson. Do you see there could be a show there where it could be all Birtley lads and pack it out?
Aye, of course. We could put a show on. Definitely put a show on, but hopefully a big one like at St James's Park or something. But like I say, there's some talent coming through from the North East now. We've got to thank Lewis Whitson for keeping the party going up there, because he's been filling out that stadium on his own for the last 5 years or something, keeping it warm for us. And now we're ready to step up to the plate, and the new batch are coming.
Good stuff, mate. Looking forward to the journey, both me and Dom and everyone else who knows about you.
Well, it is a delight to be joined at the Liverpool workout ahead of the big night on Saturday by Hammer Hank Lundy. Last time we saw you in the UK, it didn't quite work out for you. And again, a couple of months ago, you meant to fight Lewis Ritson. The fight didn't happen. You weren't very happy at the time. Now, I'm sure that's out of the system now because you're back here. You're going to get in with Robbie Davis Jr. in front of his home crowd. Just tell us how you are mentally, physically, and after that experience and how you are now.
Oh, man, I feel good, ready to fight. And this is what I do. I take my little bundle on the stick. But this time I ain't traveling in the in the USA. I'm traveling in the UK. And I'm looking to make this a hometown for me, Fan favorite.
Hank, you've been around a long time. You've been in with some unbelievable fighters, and aspirations your own. You still believe you can win that world title?
Yeah, most definitely. That's why I'm still in this game.
Otherwise.
Yeah, look, and the amateurs, you got to think about it. I was 18. I was a high school football star, but 18, I was just barely learning. I was learning. So now coming up in the pro ranks, I was fresh, but I still was learning. Now I kind of groomed into my primes, you know what I mean? I'm 37, but I'm not your average 37.
No, you're looking good, and there's your opponent that we're looking at now in the ring, Robbie Davis Jr. As I say, you're in his town, but do you remember a few years back, you were going to come over here, you were going to fight some bum from Manchester called Anthony Crolla. Do you remember?
Do you remember when it was mentioned?
I think it was mentioned, but you know what I mean?
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. We didn't know how awkward that was going to be then, Hank.
Well, that didn't happen anyway.
Yeah.
So, and he's finished now anyway. You're still going strong. You're still going strong.
Nah, you're not getting me in there. I'm done.
But it's going to be a good crowd in Liverpool, and again, I think the way that you are, they'll warm to you anyway, because you know what the UK crowds are like over here.
Right. And most definitely, one thing about me, anywhere I go, I turn the fans into my own,
Definitely. Well, listen, we look forward to seeing you, and I know you're going to put a few smiles on faces in the meantime as well. And this one, you are going to get in the ring, so you can enjoy the night.
Yes, sir. I'm ready. I'm looking forward to putting on a great show for the UK, and I'll be back because I'm bringing that world title. That WBA belt is coming back, but I'll be back here defending it.
Well, it is the Betfred Boxing Show. We are in Liverpool ahead of a big night of boxing, and one of the fellas that wants to make a big statement on Saturday night in his hometown is, of course, Robbie Davis Jr. We've seen you many times, of course, and just firstly, before we get all about you, we've had a word with your opponent, who's a bit of a live wire, it's fair to say. You can see him over there now doing the rounds, but Hank Lundy is here to enjoy himself, I think, but because he didn't fight last time, he's really milking it, and he wants to win all your fans over. That's what he's planning to do.
Let him. More fans for the sport, the better. But I'm just here to do a job. It's not personal with me. He can bring whatever hype he wants with him, but it's not going to do nothing for him on Saturday night.
Robbie, how do you feel like last time out you was on the big Liverpool card with Johnny Phillips, stoppage victory there? This time now you're being, a much sterner test. Have you, Shane, Josh, have you stood a lot of Hank?
Yeah, like some of the other opponents I've had when you're fighting like these Eastern Europeans, there's not a lot of them. When the fight was put forward with Hank, obviously I'd already watched his fights in the past in some of the big names he's fought. But so I just recapped on a few things, watched a few over again just to refresh my memory, and I've got it in my head what I've got to do now.
Do you know when you are fighting in your hometown, is it different in terms of your preparations? Because you all have camps and you get through that, but then fight week you're often away, does that suit you? Or, when you're at home, you've got the fight hotel if you want it. You want to stay in your own bed. You don't want to get involved with the fight week.
Yeah, I think for any fighter, if you've got the home advantage, I think you want to just feel at your best. And if I can stay at home, that's when where I'm most comfortable. My whole camp's are away from home. I'm only home maybe sometimes a Saturday or a Sunday, and then I'm back away again. So this for me has been a breath of fresh air, being at home.
Robert, how do you feel it's benefited you? What's been the main thing, moving down to the McGuiness camp? We see the fighters got the job they do constantly, what Shane and the team do there. What do you see the biggest thing that's benefited you for making the move?
The biggest thing for me is obviously I've been enjoying myself again, and I've always said that one of them fighters that if I'm not enjoying it, then I'll lack in the training. And because I'm enjoying it so much and I'm bouncing off everyone in the gym, everyone in the gym's doing well, it's a good vibe, everyone's pushing each other on. That's like what I needed, and it's benefited me.
Where do you rate Shane? Again, when you see the stable that you're talking about now, you make a lot of sacrifices, as does the likes of Fowler, to go from your home miles and miles away down there to train with that camp. What is it about him? What is it about the camp that's so special?
See, like me myself, when I was in a bit of a limbo, I probably wouldn't have even approach someone like Shane, because I know what such a good coach he is. I knew the gym was thriving and I was on a bit of a back burner, and then the message came through to me and he said, like, if you ever fancy coming up, and I was like, wow, that's sound that. Because when I put that little message out on socials a few months ago, and literally my phone lit up and there was loads of coaches that were involved and putting their hands in to train me and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, I'm surprised by this, do you know what I mean? So it gave me like a new lease of life. And then when I went down with Shane and started training with him and the lads, and from the first day I went in there, he was picking up on a few like bad things, bad traits I kept doing and couldn't get out of, and he just like started drilling like back to basics sort of thing, you know? And as it's just like gone on, like even though the Johnny Phillips wasn't against no level of opponent, I think I could show again like my boxing ability of what I've been lacking in a few of the others, just going in and having an absolute tear up. And I feel like every time I'm down there, every camp, I'm just going to get better. I'm looking to get through Hank, look good doing it, and then going into 2022, I'll be looking for opportunities that will come my way, again, bigger fights.
Well, it's a pleasure here at the workout in Liverpool ahead of the big night on December the 11th in Liverpool at the M&S Arena. And of course, top of the bill, he's doing battle against Conor Benn. It is, of course, Carl Frampton. No, it's not. It's Chris Algieri. But you have had that before, haven't you, Chris?
Yeah, quite a bit. I'm the taller, older brother.
A great challenge for you, though, Conor Benn. And again, it is, I suppose, people will look at it and the ages and the different stages of your career and say, is it gatekeeper? You're going to tell me absolutely not. You're going to give Conor a lesson, but that's the way people are looking at it. Have you heard that from the outside looking?
Not so much over in the States, a little bit more over here. Yeah. But, you know, I've been the guy who's always made my own script. You know, whatever the narrative is, that's fine. That's in one ear, out the other for me. I'm here to write my own story. You know, people are looking at this like I'm a stepping stone for Conor Benn, but in my mind, he's a stepping stone for me for more big fights.
Chris, I was lucky enough to be there, and possibly one of your biggest nights, the night you upset the odds and beat Ruslan Provodnikov. Do you see any similarities in this, whereas, you know, Conor Benn's this young wrecking machine, he's going through opponents, a lot of people are writing you off. Do you see similarities in that fight?
I mean, in terms of the aggression, sure, coming forward, I mean, but Ruslan was a whole different thing. He was the boogeyman of the division, one of the scariest guys literally in the sport at the time. You know, was coming off back-to-back fights with Tim Bradley, Fight of the Year, Mike Alvarado, who is a very, very tough champion, who he knocked out in his hometown. You know, a very different level of opponent. But yes, similarity in terms of certain aspects of the style, for sure.
When you look at Conor Benn, again, he's come through with the famous dad and all the rest of it. And early on in his career, he had one or two struggles. Cedric Payne, who was a famous one, and he's got better, though. Is that something you'd agree with, that he's really come on, particularly in the last couple of years?
Yeah, it seems so. But, I mean, we'll find out on Saturday. You know, this is a big step for him. Much bigger step up than he has before. You know, so, you know, you mentioned his dad. His dad's not fighting on Saturday. He is. So we're going to see where he's at.
Chris, you've been in with some unbelievable names, you know, in the division, some Hall of Famer names. Is the ambition, is it still another world title?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be here if I didn't see myself being a world champion. You know, but I also, I mean, I've already been a world champion. Yes. You know, I'll never not be a world champion. Yeah. I want big fights. You know, I like big fights. I like fight week. I like this, the training. I like the aspect of this. I've missed being here. Yeah. So for me, I just want to get the biggest fights possible. And if there's a world title in there, you know I'm going for it.
It's interesting talking to the likes of yourself. When we were talking to Katy Taylor a little while ago, you know, she's done it all now. She's got the Olympic gold. She's an undisputed world champion, but she's as hungry as ever. You're a fellow with many different strings to your bow. You've got the nutrition stuff that you've been doing. You're a media pundit. You know, you've probably made a few quid. I'm not being personal. You don't need to do this. So what is driving you? Is it just the belt? What is it?
No, it's the love of the game. I love boxing, man.
Game, the big fights.
Love it. I love boxing. You know, I like the lifestyle. A lot of it's the lifestyle. You know, I still like training. If I get up in the morning and I don't want to go to the gym, if I don't want to put in the hard work, the extra hours, then I'll quit tomorrow. But it's still there. I'm still going to the gym with these young, hungry kids. You know, I'm still in there sparring. These guys aren't beating the old dog yet, so I still belong here.
That's still your favorite part, the punditry, you know, the nutritionist. The fighting is still your favorite part.
Absolutely. I never needed to fight. You know, I've had degrees. I went to school. I spent a long time, you know, getting my academics right. I have a lot of things going on outside of that ring. Yeah. But man, I love fighting.
And you're a couple of years older than this fella, and he's thrown the towel in already. So you're showing him out. Oh, it's done.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own path, their own, you know, reason for being here. Also, I probably started a lot later than you. if you think about it. My first boxing match, I was 25, 24. Yeah, my pro debut was my first boxing match. I had no amateur fights.
Scary.
And a world champion. Well,
World champion.
Chris, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday night. All the very best to you, fella.
All the best.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, a certain Joe Cordina has just completed his workout here in Liverpool ahead of the big night on Saturday. And Joe, I'm sure he's just itching to get in there like everyone, get it out of the way, have a nice Christmas, all the rest of it. But you know, you've got a bit of a challenge on your hands as well. You've always got to look at it that way anyway, haven't you?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, no one in front of me is going to be easy walkover, regardless of what their record or what. They've either got a good record or they got a half decent record, but they've been in some tough fights like that Joshua Hernandez. But yeah, I've prepared in camp. I've done everything I should be doing, and I've ticked every box. So on Saturday, I'll put on a clinical performance.
Joe, look in great shape. All Tony Simmons fighters do. You look great as always. We come through Saturday, you never overlook him. He's 2022 the year. You go for world titles.
Yeah, obviously that's my dream and my plan from the day I started boxing. Obviously, pro boxing, but because I was never intending on turning pro when I was an amateur. Obviously, as you progress and your dreams change, your goals change. But yeah, since I turned pro, being a world champion is all I've wanted. And Ogawa seems in touching distance, but at the same time, I got a job to do on Saturday. And if Miko comes in and causes a banana skin, then there's no world title shot for me. So I got to completely be focused on him and not overlook anyone, and I'll get the job done.
We were just chatting before we spoke to you. I'm glad that you've gone first names there. That's really interesting with the opponent. What are we going to call him? We're looking at the surname. We're thinking,
Well, the same. That's what I was doing. Miko.
Well, that'll do. And the thing is as well with yourself, you seem to be around a long time. We know about your amateur pedigree. We watched you in the amateurs, but obviously as a pro you've been around a bit. You're 30 now.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't know what you're doing. You don't look anywhere near that, but it's your time, I suppose, now, isn't it?
Well, I suppose, yeah. Well, funny enough, I got ID for a Red Bull not so long ago. So yeah, but yeah, I'm 30. I haven't been through the mill. I haven't had it hard. Every time they wanted to try and step me up, bear in mind, they wanted to move me quick. After 5 fights, I was fighting for titles, and I'm Masha Dodd. Don't get me wrong, he's a tough night's work for anyone. I've boxed him on my 7th fight in a 12-rounder. I've never been past 5 rounds. So to fight someone like him who's named the bogeyman and then progressed and stepped up every time. I haven't been in a hard fight, and every single fight I've been in, I've made easy work of it. So I can, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't been through the mill, but I need to keep progressing and keep stepping up my levels. But as soon as the level of opposition steps their game up, that's when you'll see the best of me. So hopefully Miko brings the best of him and shows something that I haven't seen in a pro ring yet, and then that's when you'll see the best of me.
Joe, finally from me, a lot of the fighters on that Olympic squad had you as the best fighter on it, the most talented without a doubt. Are you very confident you can join some of those fighters in becoming a world champion next year, probably against the Goa?
Yeah, of course. Listen, when I was an amateur, I was winning everything. I was one of 6 now to ever win a European gold in the seniors. It's very, very hard to do. I won a Commonwealth medal, underperformed in there, and when it came to the big one in the Olympics, I underperformed, and that's down to making weight and not doing what I should have been doing properly. But you learn your lessons. From the day I turned pro, I decided to knock all the other stuff on the head, going out partying and doing all the other stuff that you shouldn't be doing as a fighter. Don't drink, don't do anything that I shouldn't be doing. Now I live the life of a fighter, and being around the likes of Ricky Burns, I've never seen someone train so hard and dedicate themselves so much in any sport. So being around him, it was starting to rub off on me. So that's what I do. I live my life clean. I do everything I should be doing, and now I will prove that I'm one of the best in our Olympic team, and I will win a world title. And I've always said it, I will. And everything I've set my mind out to do something, I've always done it. So yeah, I will become a world champion in 2022.
Joe, all the best for Saturday.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
So there we have it. We're wrapped up here, or it's wrapping up at this great venue, the Black E in Liverpool. And we've spoken to the great and the good, of course, tonight. And has it got you a bit more excited for Saturday night?
Yes, I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the main event. The joint main event. A lot more now after speaking to Algieri. He's super confident. I think he feels that he knows far too much, for Conor Benn. But now I'm looking forward to that, and obviously the other co-main, but some of the undercard, some great fights on the undercard as well. But yeah, it has. The public workout normally does that job, and it's done the job again tonight.
We're going to catch up with Conor Benn at the press conference, but we did want to talk to Chris tonight, as you allude to. But it reminds me a bit, for obvious reasons, a fast-talking New Yorker like Malignaggi, same weight, achieved similar things in a way that world title, but then got beat by some of the very, very elite. So there are similarities there, and they're both obviously pundits as well. So it's an easy one to make, but he is still super confident that there's lots left, and that's what makes it so intriguing. Conor is vastly improved, though, isn't he?
Massively improved, and I think if you look at him over the past 2 years, you could argue he's the most improved fighter in British boxing. He's certainly got a great case for that. But yeah, I think, speaking to Chris, I think he just feels that Conor's not ready yet, not ready for him yet. So confident man like that, he's always in great shape. I think with his job being a nutritionist, he's always going to be in shape. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the fight.
How long's this been going on, Ant? I think they're trying to play us out here.
I think they want us out. Is that our cue?
I think that was York, yeah. I think you've been talking to us. But just before we do, just in the wings before talking to Katy Taylor, fascinating. I mean, again,
unbelievable.
The legend thing is bandied about all the time. That is a true legend.
And not just what she's done in her career, but the amount of young ladies, and young ladies, young fighters she's inspired is unbelievable.
Fighters full stop, I think.
Fighters full stop.
Yeah, absolute proper inspiration to so many. And again, interesting to see what happens next year. You've already booked your ticket to New York.
I'm there.
You're just keeping it loose because you don't know the date, but you're going to be there when she fights Serrano, all being well.
I'm going to be looking out for those dates and getting there straight away, and be one of the thousands of Irish there and spend my time.
Oh, you're going to be fully decked in green for that one, are you? You're going to claim.
I'm going to claim some. I'm going to go through the ancestry and claim Summit, and I will be drinking the black stuff and supporting Katy over there. But she's got to come through Saturday.
She has indeed. Well, we look forward to all of that. And still more to come, of course, because we'll be at the press conference building up to the big fight of the weekend, which is a Matchroom card, of course, sponsored by. And that's it. It's your Betfred bonus boxing show.